Hi, parents and caregivers. Welcome to your virtual guide to school avoidance for high school students. In this video, we'll define school avoidance, discuss the importance of addressing it, dig into the signs and underlying reasons that youth avoid school, give you strategies to deal with school avoidance in your household, and leave you with a few resources. Word of caution. This video will give you foundational knowledge to support a young person who's avoiding school. But if your child's school avoidance is causing stress in your family or negatively affecting your child's life functioning, then it's important to reach out to the school for support. The school might also suggest you talk to a mental health provider, your child's pediatrician, or other professionals who can work as a team to support you and your child. So, what is school avoidance? It refers to when a child repeatedly tries to avoid going to or staying in school. It captures a broad range of behaviors. It can look like your teen struggling to arrive at school on time, skipping classes, leaving before the school day ends, spending time in the nurse's office, or not attending school at all. Importantly, school avoidance does not mean when a young person complains about going to school now and then, because this isn't a pattern of that behavior. And it also doesn't mean when a young person has a genuine reason that they have to leave school sometimes, like a health condition. Instead, school avoidance must involve the child refusing to go to school. If your high schooler is avoiding school, you're not alone. A quarter or more of students show school avoidance behaviors at some point in their lives. School avoidance has increased since the pandemic shutdown. School avoidance rates are especially high in kindergarten. They drop in early elementary school and increase again in middle school and throughout high school. Despite the prevalence of school avoidance, addressing it is important. Attending school is important. At school, young people learn academic skills, social skills, and life skills. They also build critical relationships with peers and teachers. Not attending school can have short term consequences, like academic difficulties, feeling disengaged from school, family stress, missing out on school resources, and relationships. Missing just a few days every couple of weeks in high school can impact a young person's academic success and make it harder to stay on track to graduate. In fact, in the long term, a pattern of school avoidance is associated with eventual school dropout and other negative consequences like employment challenges. Most important, school avoidance can indicate that a teen is experiencing deeper difficulties, like struggling with schoolwork, dealing with bullying, experiencing anxiety or depression, or facing some other challenge. But when families and schools work together, they can address those deeper difficulties, minimize the possible consequences of non attendance, and help get children back in class. Let's dig deeper into the signs of school avoidance. If your child is avoiding school, you might have noticed that they often request to stay home instead of going to school, perhaps in an emotional manner, complain of physical symptoms like headaches or stomach aches before school, have trouble getting out of bed in the morning before school or trouble going to sleep on school nights, have a pattern of late arrival in the morning or to certain classes, or have many unexcused absences or are skipping class at school. Let's unpack why your child may be avoiding school. People only engage in a behavior over and over again when the behavior serves a purpose for them. For young people with a pattern of school avoidance, the avoidance serves a purpose for them. Understanding that purpose helps us address the avoidance. Young people who avoid attending school usually do so for two specific purposes. First, they might be escaping or avoiding something at school, like undesirable situations or feelings. They might be avoiding feelings of anxiety, which can come with certain classes or activities. For example, a high schooler might avoid the anxiety associated with giving a speech in front of class, taking a test, or participating in gym. Youth who are academically struggling might be avoiding academic tasks or feelings of frustration or failure in the classroom. And young people might be avoiding social situations, like unstructured social time in the hallways or doing group work. Youth who avoid school might also be experiencing bullying at school. Second, youth might also avoid school because staying home is more enjoyable for them. While at home, they might have access to desired items and activities like playing video games, using social media, or sleeping. For high schoolers, staying home from school might also mean less adult supervision. They may have the opportunity to do things like use substances, like alcohol or drugs, or engage in sexual behavior. To start to understand which of these reasons is true for your child, have a conversation with them. Have your first conversation when you're both calm, rather than during the moment that your child is refusing school. Aim for a private, distraction free space. Ask open ended questions like, what's school like for you these days? What's hard about going to school? What's better about being at home? Do your best to affirm what your child says. Avoid problem solving or judging right away. Share with your child that you care about them and want to help them overcome what is difficult for them about school. Your child may not want to share at that moment. If that's the case, offer to have them write about their experience instead. You can also look for patterns in your child's behavior. Keep a log of the days that your child shows school avoidant behavior, any concerns they express, and the circumstances. Like, it's the first day back after a break, or they have a certain class or teacher. Keep in mind that it might be more difficult to track your child's attendance when they have greater autonomy, like a driver's license or the ability to leave school during the day. Collaborate with the school to share attendance patterns. Or, for some youth who are willing to do so, you could consider asking your child to keep a log of their attendance. Remember, you do not have to figure out what's going on with your child's school avoidance behaviors alone. In fact, this is something best done by a team that includes school staff, you, and other providers if appropriate. You can share with that team what you learned from talking with your child or from looking for patterns in your child's behavior. So, if you suspect that your child may be avoiding school, what do you do about it? Well, we have four major tips for you. First, collaborate with the school. Second, set clear expectations about school attendance. Third, reward your child for attending school. And fourth, help your child follow morning and evening routines. Our first tip for you is to collaborate with the school, which means working with school staff to develop supports for your child. This is important because you can have the biggest impact by providing continuity and strategies across settings. You might be able to advocate for changes at school that could positively impact your child. You might also be able to access school resources to support your team. Finally, the school might conduct an assessment to pinpoint the factors that are maintaining your child's school avoidance behaviors. To start working with the school, begin by reaching out to your child's homeroom teacher or other preferred teacher, guidance counselor, school psychologist, or another school professional about your concerns. You can reach out at any time, but you should certainly reach out if school avoidance is causing stress for your family or negatively affecting your child's educational or life functioning. When speaking with the school, you might want to share your child's reasons for school avoidance or any patterns you've noticed in their behaviors, any concerns you have with your teen's health, mental health, or sleep, and any challenges your family's facing that might impact attendance, like housing or transportation issues or major life transitions. Finally, work with the school to make a plan to support your teen. The plan should address the underlying reasons for your child's school avoidance. What might this plan look like? Well, if the underlying reason that your child is avoiding school is to avoid situations or feelings of anxiety, then the plan might help your child gradually face their anxiety. Avoiding school can alleviate a child's anxiety in the short term, but longer term is likely to reduce their confidence and make them even more anxious about going to school. This type of plan is best done by your child's school, you, and possibly a mental health provider. As part of this, you can also help your young person practice relaxation skills, like deep breathing, so they can cope with distressing situations. Some young people avoid attending school because they don't want to engage in academic tasks. If this is the case for your child, support them by talking to a teacher about extra academic support. You could also have a conversation with your child to help them see the connection between going to school and meeting high school graduation requirements. In some cases, collaborating with the school to consider your child's program of study can be helpful. Would your child be more motivated in a job placement program? Would taking a class at a community college better meet their needs? These bigger questions are best asked by you, your child, and school professionals. High school can be a socially difficult time. If you think your child may be avoiding social situations at school, then you can help your child get a support system at school by talking to a teacher about maybe making a check in plan with a preferred teacher at school. You can also help your child build social skills by modeling for them and providing them opportunities to practice. And finally, if you think that your child is experiencing bullying, it is appropriate to let the school know so they can address this larger issue. Some young people avoid going to high school because they have access to more desirable things at home than at school. If possible, try to limit access to things your child likes when they stay home, so doing so is boring. If your child is accessing unsupervised time while staying home from school, make a plan for ongoing supervision. If you suspect that your child is using substances while at home, talk to them about this and make a broader plan to address this issue. If your child is sleeping when at home, try setting a wake up time for them. Also, note that significant changes in sleep patterns can sometimes indicate underlying mental health concerns like depression. So, be sure to share this concern with the school or a mental health professional. Our second tip for you is to set clear expectations about school attendance. This means setting an expectation that your child should attend school, except for in very specific circumstances, like when a doctor says they need to stay home. This is useful to help you and your child know what to do on school days, to communicate to your child that school matters, and hopefully to avoid a power struggle because the expectation is set in advance. Begin by identifying an expectation related to school attendance. It should describe when your child will and will not go to school. For example, you attend your afternoon classes every day, or you go to school every day and you don't go to school only when you have a fever. For young people who are not or are rarely attending school, start with an expectation that your child can actually achieve. For example, can they go to homeroom every day or attend one class? Next, teach the expectation to your child. Describe what following the expectation looks like and doesn't look like. For example, going to your afternoon classes means that you attend 5th and 6th period every day and drive home at 2:15. It means that you do not skip 5th and 6th period and drive home early. Review the expectation with your child every day and praise them for following or meeting the expectation or for making progress towards it. You might also consider a reward system for meeting the expectation. Let's talk more about a reward system. Our third tip for you is to set up a contract with your child so they get a reward for making efforts to go to school. This is important to acknowledge your child's work towards attendance. It is supportive of them and recognizes their progress. It also pairs attending school with positive things that your child enjoys. To set up the reward system, begin by identifying an attendance goal. Make sure the goal is something your child can achieve now. For example, can they drive to school and go to homeroom every day? Can they attend school until lunchtime? Collaborate with your child to identify a reward for reaching the goal and make sure the reward is something you can provide. For instance, a reward for making it throughout the whole school day could be your child choosing what's for dinner that night. If your child reaches the goal Give them their reward immediately and praise them for reaching it. If they don't make it, work with your child to figure out how they can do so next time, or adjust the goal if needed. When your child is successful in getting their reward, you can increase what they need to do to get the reward gradually over time as they build skills. Final tip for you is to help your high schooler follow a consistent morning and evening routine. This means having a schedule of activities that your child follows daily. It can be helpful in creating predictability related to school, providing structure during the times when your child's challenging behaviors related to school avoidance are most likely to occur, and supporting good sleep, which might help your child's attendance as well as their overall well being. To do this, work with your child to create a schedule of the steps that they take every morning and evening. Post that schedule somewhere accessible, like on the fridge or in the living room, or help your child put the schedule in their phone or planner if that's something they use already. You can help your child set alarms to remind them when to transition activities if that works for them. Many devices now have a bedtime alarm, for example. You can also get your child's buy in here by building in steps that they enjoy, like a skincare routine or listening to music in the morning. You've now heard how to identify school avoidance and 4 tips for supporting a young person who is avoiding school. You can access more resources related to school avoidance on the MCIU website. Follow this short link to go directly to their site and learn more about programming to support attendance in Montco. If you're looking for more resources on parenting, check out the Montco Padlet. Follow the short link to get information on parent programs and upcoming events for families. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all that you do to support your high school student.